All right, this is a walk around video of my 2010 Toyota Tundra. It's up for sale. I've had this truck since about 2014, and I bought it in Mississippi. And when I got it, I think it had about 60,000 miles on it. The dealer bought it stock, and then they added a 6-inch lift with 35s, and that's how I kept it from probably up until 2016 or 17, and then I went with the suspension you see now. So what it has now is a 8-inch ready lift suspension kit, and opened up the wallet big time, and I went with the full 8-inch length Icon coilovers, which were ungodly expensive. But anybody that's had lift kits on trucks, you know that mostly the lift kits just utilize your stock coilovers and just put like an extension block on top or a bucket on top of the coilover, which is fine and it'll get you up there, and you know you can mall crawl all day long. But when you go to full length coilover, super big difference. So with that, I matched the coilover with a upper control arm from, I think, Zone Off-Road, which this whole kit has been super beefy and super heavy duty. With the suspension kit, I did the tires, and they're Fuel 18 by 12s. Super clean looking wheel. I think it's either matte black or gloss black. I couldn't remember. I think it's gloss black. And then you got 38 by 15 and a half wide on 18 mud grapplers. And this set I just bought about last month, and I've had a couple lifted trucks and ran a couple different tires, and I was really surprised about how smooth and not so much quiet, but as far as how the steering wheel feels in the ride, it's extremely smooth. It was smoother than the 35s that are originally on this truck. So they're balanced with beads inside the tire, which is super cool with a tire this size. You know, the tread starts to wear. Lifted tires, when they have weights on them, they kind of get out of balance super easy, and then it's just a nightmare on your steering wheel on the ride. But since they have beads, no matter where the wear is on these tires, it's always been, the last set was smooth all the way down till it was time to replace them. So that's been really cool. But this truck drives straight and smooth. Alignment's killer. And I've serviced the heck out of this thing over the years. Kind of call it my Japanese girlfriend because it's literally been babied. So it's super clean looking. Blacked out the badges, added the TRD decal on the bed. So I had that custom made. I essentially just went with an existing decal that was for Tacomas, and I took it to a decal shop here in town. I'm like, hey, they don't make this for Tundra, but hook me up with one. And they custom made it, and it's good, high quality stuff. That decal lasts a really long time. And then the bumpers are, this one's infab, and I had it painted kind of color match the truck, but not so much. I kind of wanted to offset it with like a different tone. I didn't want to do the same silver that the truck came with, because it kind of looked, I don't know, too much silver. I kind of want to contrast it with a different kind of color, and I love the color titanium. So that's Audi titanium silver or titanium gray. What I think it comes on there, some of the Audi wheels. That color is super dope. The front is a ADD off-road full bumper, and then I had this custom made in town because it came from ADD with, you know, their letters, you know, across the whole skid plate, which was cool. But I didn't. That was a little too much for me, and I went with had that custom made, and I think it came out killer. And then these KC lights, I think it's the Pro 6. Super killer lights, unreal expensive too. So, but I thought it fit perfect, and it was just the right thing to do. Rock Warrior grill, aftermarket lights. I think those are infab steps. Bushwhacker fender flares. The bed is rhino lined. It's got a locking toolbox. Tons of storage in there. Kind of custom setup here. I got these, I forget what website they are, but basically they bolt and add rigidity to the bed. And same idea with that crossbar across the back. Makes the bed super stiff. And when you match like the suspension and coilovers, and then you stiffen up the bed, and then you kind of do a high speed tight turn on this thing, it literally hugs the road and takes the turn like a car. So it's pretty unreal to be in when you're in a truck this size. Let's see here. Interior is locked. Interior is completely all stock, even the stereo, everything. So I kind of liked it that way. I thought they did a pretty clean job. And I've owned a bunch of lifted trucks, or just trucks in general, like Rams and Silverados, but I was always impressed, and it seemed like this Tundra, everything lasted on it extremely well in terms of wear. I mean, like these seats, so the truck has 180,000 miles on it, and I daily drive it, and you know, kids and the whole daily thing on it. I mean, the seats are just perfect condition, like no tears, nothing. And like the interior, I mean, it's sharp, nothing's falling apart, the plastic's not cracking, and it just holds up super well, and I've always been impressed by that. Under the rear seats you got storage, WeatherTech mats. Again, like interior super clean. Go around, show you the other side. We got power seats, power windows, power mirrors. The rear window power slides, which is cool. And one of my favorite details about this truck is the shifter right there on the column, or the console. That was really cool. Oh, that was super dope. Lots of storage in here. This is like a hidden storage compartment that comes up, and the cup holders pop up. Lots of storage on this truck. I'll show the engine. So aside from the suspension kit and the only other mods I made besides appearance wise have been like the generic hop up stuff you would do to a truck. So it's got, of course, the IForce V8 rated at 380 horsepower, 380 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. I put the K&N washable cold air intake, and that's it. Inside the engine bay, I matched the cold air intake with a full Flowmaster exhaust. They call it the Outlaw, and there's a disclaimer when you get it saying it's not street legal, but let's see if I can crawl under here and get an image of it. That's it. It's really small, and it does it just dumps out right there in front of the axle. And it was kind of a trip putting that on, because the old one you take out, I mean, it's huge. It looks like a small water heater. So you take out that big old dinosaur, then you put that smaller muffler on there, and you can immediately tell the difference. I mean, I felt the truck was a little quicker, and it revved faster, if that makes sense. So after I did those two mods, I got a programmer from Hypertech, and then you put in the intake you got, the exhaust, and then it does a quick piggyback programming, I think it is, and then it says it would add like 10 to 15 horsepower, 10 to 15 foot-pounds of torque, extra mile per gallon, blah blah blah. So I mean, I did feel a difference. So the truck feels super quick, and it feels like it revs like really fast, and that exhaust is definitely noticeable. So after I did those two mods, I forgot to show, I did anybody that gets on Tundra forums knows about Dirty Deeds out in California. They do a bunch of Tundra stuff. I had them custom make an electric fan kit, because originally the Tundra comes with a clutch fan, but I never really cared for it, You know, I thought it should come with electric fan, like, you know, the smaller trucks, you like the Tacoma and 4Runner. So they custom make that, and it comes out super clean. It's got 2 large fans on it, and cooling is killer. I mean, I felt like the AC even got colder. So, and I kind of feel like it makes the truck rev even quicker as well too. So literally when you're inside the truck and you're driving it, it feels peppy, and it's super responsive on the throttle. And I'll start it up right now. I'll kind of do how it sounds with the exhaust. So when you start it up, I mean, the truck just sounds strong. And then when it idles, I mean, you notice, and you can tell it's a V8 in there, but it's not annoying loud. And even when you drive it, I mean, you definitely hear a rumble. But unless you really like get on the throttle and open it up, like wide open throttle, then you can tell that, you know, it's a Flowmaster Outlaw and probably should not be street legal. But if you're just normal driving around it, it just sounds like a great rumble, like a Flowmaster 40 series or something like that. It sounds killer. So I've always been super happy with it. But let me see if I can turn off my Bluetooth so it doesn't mess up this video while I start this truck up. Okay, here we go. So the cool thing, electric fans, it almost makes it feel like a monster truck in the way. So when you do key on, the fans come on, and even before the engine comes on, the engine fires, and then when you turn off the truck, the fans will run for a second and then turn off. So it's pretty cool. So it starts up, sounds super good. And I've always loved driving this truck. It's been super fun. It's got the tow package on it. I've towed all kinds of stuff, and it'll do it and not sweat it. I think it's rated for 10,500 pounds, and I completely believe it. Along with the upgrades on the wheels, I got EBC brake pads and rotors that are slotted and drilled, kind of on all 4 tires. So that setup is definitely something you hear a lot about on high performance cars, but when you put it on a truck like this and you go to stop, I mean, it'll definitely do it. So not only does it look cool, but those definitely improve the safety on the truck. Because when you're rolling this heavy and big, you want to stop when you need to, especially with all the crazy drivers on the road. And this thing stops awesome. So I'll give you a couple exhaust sounds. So idle, and then you kind of get on it, you'll just have a noticeable tone. Which sounds super amazing. But then, like I said, with the it feels like the truck will rev quick. I'll kind of give a demonstration on that, and then I'll just really open it up just for a second. You can kind of hear the difference between the stock exhaust and then a full Flowmaster Outlaw. It's pretty wild. So yeah, I would say on a scale of fun, fun on a scale of 1 to 10, it's 11. It's been a blast to drive. Selling it because I moved out of the city limits, and I'm driving way more than I originally was, so I have got to downsize being a family man. So this isn't an easy video to make. I definitely didn't want to have to sell it, but time is right. And yep, that's it.